Is El Chapo in danger? Why would they offer him protection, man? Let's talk about this, but before we continue with this video, man, don't forget to hit the like, a comment to push my video out there. I would highly appreciate it. And if you want to support me even more, don't forget to subscribe. With this being said, let's go and talk about this. What do my gente? Your boys coming through once again with the new video. And on today's video, we're going to talk about this news article that popped up in where they're saying that a Mexican mafia member offered protection to El Señor, El Chapo. For those who don't know, man, El Chapo has been locked up in a federal prison named ADX, right? Top of the high security thing. And basically the guy, it's in the cell 24/7, right? So this past Friday, an indictment became public, right? In where a Mexican mafia member is being accused of overseeing a partnership between La eMe and the cartel of Sinaloa, man. Let's not forget, just this past week, a lot of eMe associates got arrested because of collecting taxes, right? Extorting businesses around that area and getting money from every place they can. And because of this, they did a big buzz. And I'm talking about 70 kilos of crystal, 60 kilos of fentanyl. And talk about fentanyl, we already know it comes from Sinaloa, right? So it tells you right there, and like I said on the other video, they had to have some connection with the Sinaloa cartel or from somebody from Mexico, right? So here in this indictment, they're talking about that this specific mafia member, who is the most powerful mafia member of San Diego County, was basically offer protection to El Chapo. Now, did El Chapo agree to this or not? Man, who knows? It doesn't say right there. But does El Chapo really need protection? We're talking about, oh boy, is in a cell. For those who don't know how this might be, it's almost like in the shoe, and where you're locked down all the day and maybe only come out for a shower. And I don't know if it's true, but they're saying he has the whole compound by himself, but I doubt it, man. That'd be crazy, but not impossible, right? But I doubt it. But for them to ask for protection is basically they want a piece of that pie. Let's not forget that not a long time ago, a leader of a different cartel got assaulted in prison because he wouldn't pay up $10,000 for protection, right? And the thing about any prison gangs or organizations, right? They're going to take advantage of any situation, man. So when somebody goes in their prison and they know that person has money, they're going to approach the individual and ask them, hey, man, you have to kick a certain amount of money because we're going to offer you protection. And at the end of the day, protection for what? It's basically protection from them. You know what I mean? They're going to try to talk to you good and say, hey, protection from different races, from different individuals who are going to try to get your money. So just give us your money and we protect you. At the end of the day, if you don't give them the money, the only person you're going to need protection from is the guys who are asking for that money, right? Because they want it. And they're going to push that line until they make you want to pay for that protection, right? So this is a clear example that no matter how powerful you are, when you land somewhere in where your cartel is not there, man, trust me, you're going to run into people who are going to try to extort you for money, and they're going to try to take advantage of that, no matter if you were partners out there on the streets or not, man. We're talking about these two individuals, Sinaloa and the Mexican mafia, were organized out there on the streets. They still got deals and stuff like that. But once the boss of Sinaloa went into federal prison, now they're trying to ask for money. When in reality, they were partners at one time, so they should be cool, no? And that protection should come with that deal, right? Not to mention, let's not forget, man, that the Paisa card in the federal prison is pretty big. It's pretty big. So what would this mean? That means that the Mexican mafia and the paisanos are going to have to go at it in federal prison just to protect El Chapo. That's the thing about this, that at the end of the day, people want that money. Even though they don't need that money, that greed, and they're willing to sacrifice their foot soldiers in order to get that money, right? So this can get into ugly situation in the federal system. But again, I don't think El Chapo needs the protection because he is at a prison in where basically he's not around inmates. He's on a lockdown because he's a dangerous individual. And I'm not saying he's dangerous because he's known to unalive individuals in one-on-ones. I'm saying that he's a high-profile individual who has a lot of power and who has a history of escaping from different prisons. And that's why, and of course, not to mention that he was the boss of a cartel. And that's why he is in that secure prison. Never to see the light, never to walk out there in the yard with other inmates. And maybe this was best for him, right? It's not out on the public, and where he's going to be a target to everybody, and where he has to pay everybody in order to be safe. Because for how long does the car of the paisanos in the federal prison is going to be able to protect them? You know, he has to pay a lot of money for the protection, and he's going to have to do it to everybody. So again, I don't think El Chapo is paying for his protection, but one thing I can tell you is that now when the sons of El Chapo land in federal prison, those guys aren't going to have to pay for protection. Why? Because those guys are going to be an easy target, and they're going to be right there with other individuals. They're not going to be as high profile as their dad to make it to ADX, but they can step into danger. So with this being said, just know one thing. No matter how powerful you are out there on the streets, man, once you stepped into the prison, the whole game changes, and it's somebody else who's powerful in there. So let's not forget that in Mexico, gang members, Southsiders, Tureños, and Mexican members work basically for the cartel, right? But once they cross the border, it's a whole different game. It's a whole different ball game, right? So right here, it shows you a different glimpse in where now the boss or the ex-boss of this high powerful cartel he's in the hot seat in whether he pays for the protection or he doesn't. And again, his sons, once they come into the federal prison, they're going to be in the same predicament, right? But now those guys are going to be more exposed because I'm pretty sure they're not going to go to that prison. So with this being said, we are out to next video. Muchas gracias. A ratos.